Hi, MP Mark Warawa with another exciting MP Minute. Here we're in the parliamentary buildings, just be in front of the Library of Parliament. And I have three leaders, religious leaders, that have made a presentation earlier today expressing a sincere concern about attacks on religious freedoms that we're experiencing here in Canada. Now, as we know, Canada is one of those countries that really has a strong track record of standing up for religious freedoms. And so we're really surprised and shocked to hear that there is concerns about religious freedoms being attacked here in Canada. And I have Andre Schutten with ARPA, I believe. And Andre, what is your concerns?
Well, across Canada, we're seeing many subtle attacks and some not so subtle attacks on religious freedom, especially on the Christian community across the country. Canada is, as you've said, a standard bearer for religious freedom around the world, but it's time for it to start also looking in its own home. Martin Luther King Jr. once said that a threat to injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, and we're beginning to see threats to justice, to religious freedom here in Canada, and we want to say something before it's too late.
Well, we have a Charter of Rights and Freedoms in Canada that guarantees that religious freedoms are being protected. And what are some of the examples in Canada where religious freedoms are under attack?
Well, one example would be from your own riding, where Trinity Western University is being treated differently than other universities simply because it's an evangelical Christian university. Law societies across the country in 3 different provinces have decided to ban students from that university from ever practicing law in their provinces simply because they come from an evangelical Christian university. Likewise, some colleges of physicians and surgeons have indicated that they want to force physicians to act contrary to their own consciences by doing things they find to be immoral. For example, referring for abortion.
So there was the Trinity case, and I've spoken as in the House of Commons, as many others have also, very concerned about what's happening. But the Supreme Court of Nova Scotia clearly ruled, Justice Campbell said, yeah, that should not have happened. No, I'm shocked that the Law Society has appealed that decision when it was so clear that the Charter of Rights and Freedoms protects Canadians. Canadians should be able to practice law if they meet all the credentials, and you're a lawyer, is that right?
That's right.
Yeah, and so you should be able to practice law and not be prohibited from practicing law because of your faith, providing you have the qualifications, and you do. So how can this be happening in Canada, and what should the government do?
Well, you're right. The Trinity Western has the law on its side, and that's why Justice Campbell ruled the way he did. So I think that Trinity Western should win at the Court of Appeal, and if it needs to go to the Supreme Court, they should win there too. Just last week, the Supreme Court of Canada ruled that secularism does not mean that we silence other religious expressions. Rather, we embrace religious difference. And so we need a statement from this government. We need this government to stand up for religious freedom across the country. Some levels of government are worse offenders than others, but the federal government, I think, can take the lead, show the initiative, show the leadership by saying we value religious freedom. Democracy cannot function without robust protection of religious freedom.
Yeah, and I think that's the crutch of all the concerns that we're hearing. Is Canada, as a democracy, cannot thrive and does not have a future if we do not protect religious freedoms. And that's where it starts, as attacks on religious freedoms. And anyway, we can look at history and learn from history. And so it's important that we do protect these freedoms that we each value so much. So thank you for each of you from coming to Ottawa. And our government is committed to protecting religious freedoms. And I appreciate your encouragement.
Thank you.
Thank you.